Okay, just getting everything started here. Check the chat. Will it appear? Yes, good. The Facebook chat appears. Thank God. 'Cause I was wondering how I was gonna get that. Okay. Getting it all together here. So it'll just take a moment or two to start. I gotta grab one of these drops. Hold on one second. All right. Alrighty. Let's get started here. So it's that Super Ultimate Tuesday I was telling you about. I was doing the handshaking Super Ultimate Tuesday. You know what I mean? This is what that is. So, what I wanted to do is I wanted to scale into the breakdown of Player One album, and not only that, just like where it came from, the concept, all those things. So I'm about to literally go right into that. Give you guys some gems, some things I was thinking. I just got done doing this particularly on Twitch, but for some reason it wouldn't allow me to do it for Facebook and YouTube. I finally got it to work. So here's the gist. So for this album, actually, I was inspired by doing nerd stuff by maybe like 2007, 2008 when I was really heavy into the Halo stuff like that. And that was when like YouTube was starting itself and people were making video game raps and things like that. And for long story short, I was playing pretty competitive in Halo 2 and 3 at the time. So I made like a couple, montage videos and a couple Halo songs back then before I knew anything was really it was really something. So what kind of stopped at that point was, like after I got into machinima and all these things, I just couldn't, have somebody that was, as fully dedicated to do videos and things like that for me to be able to pursue it. And it just kind of died off. And what really made it die off is there was a song I made. It was called Rockstar, and it was a Guitar Hero 3 rap. Is what I did. So when I did that, and this is true story, true story. So this is 50, the YouTube account, subscribed to me. They subscribed to me for about 2 days. Dead serious, 2 days. And then right after that, I check, I think maybe 3 days later, they unsubscribed and then they sent a message saying, hey, thanks for subscribing or whatever. And I'm like, I didn't subscribe to you. What are you talking about? So Mims came out with a song that was called Rockstar also. And it also took lines from things I wrote. But before I knew about really heavy about registering and all those kind of things, I was kind of in the funnel. So I was really upset about it. And when that actually happened, that's where, that's where it actually came together when it went to that. So then I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this particular music and YouTube and stuff anymore because I felt like it was no way to be protected. So I stopped doing that. And then a couple years later, I just decided I didn't stop rap. I just wanted to produce. And around that time, 2015 was a big year for me because of, winning the beat battles and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, okay, I want to do something different. I want to be able to expand my reach as a producer. Because I was fine with rapping. You know what I mean? I knew in my rap career wasn't really fully taken serious in the city I was in because it's just like, being barsmith for other barsmiths. And it just kind of, iron sharpens iron. You just get better. It's not anything that makes you stand out over anybody else. So in 2015, I went to Shotokan and I ran to, Mega Ran. And I didn't know that there was something for that, for people that are nerds like me to be able to have a platform or opportunity to perform with like minded people. Because I was getting new into going to Comic Cons. Like my first Comic Con ever was 2013. And you look at those aspects of it and be like, okay, cool. So long story short, I met him after the show and we went to a bar across the street and I asked him, I said, look, I did this before, but I got burned because of blah, 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 blah. And then I said, hey, if I decide to go back into this, would you support me? And of course, just like any artist that wants to acquire fans, like, sure, man, you go ahead, man. I got you, man. Cool. Right. And they just walk away because they're just like, okay, this is just another person that just want to get into this thing because they see it's possible and now they want the opportunity when other people had to grind for that opportunity to get it. So, long story short, when it came to that, it took me 2 years to come up with Player One. And the reason why it took me 2 years to come up with it, it wasn't necessarily, I wasn't rapping or anything because Ego came out in 2015. And then, that was when I was working for Disney. I lived in Florida. All these things, all these elements were in this particular aspect, right? So, the concept of Player One. So, the concept of Player One came from Tron. Tron to me was the original Player One, as in it was named as Player One. It's what it was called. It's what it was. You know what I mean? It wasn't Player A, Player B, because those are what the games were called before that. So, being in a video game is what I wanted to do. Is I wanted to be in a video game. Like I always wanted that element. I just thought it was super cool to be a part of a video game because I'm a huge fan of that. I'm a fan of Tron, and I'm a fan of the worlds. It just makes it cool. It makes you feel like you could do anything. People think I get it from Ready Player One. I don't. That's not where I got it from. It's originally from Tron. You know what I mean? Tron and all those elements. So if you look at the cover, that was when I was a lot heavier. Shout outs to Cliff Notes that actually did the cover for me. This, this is definitely where it needs to be. I was a lot bigger back then. I was struggling super hard with type 2 diabetes and sleep apnea. And I was a lot heavier set. So it was a lot harder for me to, breathe and things like that. I had a real snoring issue, like super hard, like more than before. It was just really hard. You know what I mean? And then when you're trying to, build and try to be in dating worlds and things like that, it could be hard. So it's a lot of different elements that come into that. So the reason why I did I Am Player One is because I wanted to change my name originally from Mark Cooper to Player One because I felt that if I'm going to do something new, I start off with a new name and start fresh where it needs to. But there was confliction because of the fact of Mark Cooper's fan base and then a Player One fan base. So even though they mesh together, the last thing I want to do is confuse you. So that's the reason why, it kind of went Mark Cooper, I Am Player One. Player One is a name where there is no personality to it. It's default. It's literally when you start the game, before you make a profile, before you do anything, before that. This is the demo. So this was a demo to my return or go into nerdcore for the first time. So the first track starts off with nerdcore. Crazy looking game. Been a long time since I've been here. I guess I better get on with it.
Press start to begin.
Here goes nothing. I definitely wouldn't have went all this way if I didn't want to be here, so might as well press start.
Welcome to Nerdcore. Please place virtual reality helmet onto your head to start the game.
Ooh. Okay, I paused it. Okay. So that was just the first track. Like I said, when I was making this album, I got everybody, I got somebody to mix all the songs, but I wanted to try my hand into mixing the skits. And obviously, they don't really sound the best. This is actually this project is about almost 5 years old. So I'm very excited for that, to get in the 5-year milestone. But I hate when the mouse falls. Excuse me, sorry. So it was just a way of entering the game. Entering something like that, just like any other video game. You don't know exactly what you're going to expect. You don't know the opportunity, things like that. So that's when I enter in the game or enter in the genre of nerdcore, is what the metaphor is. So the next part we're going to go into is tutorials. So basically, just like any other game, anything, there's some kind of tutorial mode that gets you where you need to be. That's where that comes from. So this is where I'm just rapping on a tutorial mode, basically just kind of showing what I've learned as a rapper and then I've learned in my nerd culture to combine it together. So it's like one of those kind of litmus test deals.
So this is nerdcore. Been a long time since I've been here. Oh. Tutorial modes, huh? Let's see if I still got it.
Call out these characters, my killer instinct full gore. Burn the spinals and see the cinders that hit the floor. Got the guts to endure, Mike O'Malley or more. Don't get the picture, kick the scramble, what I have in store. My spirits had a collision, became survival. I traded that Kenyan arrow and slipping that Night Rider. Had that golden ticket, don't need that Gene Wilder. Something out of nothing, my mental mind, I'm a MacGyver. So ready for war like Skeletor, feeling my bones. I'm so crafty like McAllister, went home alone. Did my share of risky business, not cruise prone. Cause even Top Gun, so wonder in the danger zone. So each his own, how you feel your own energy when you struggling with the shadow clones. Flow similar, CeeLo Green on a cell phone. Cause when you make a call, it explodes. Mind blown.
Think I still got the hang of it, Let me change the game just a little bit more.
You bugging like a caterpie. I guarantee it, if you was a metapod, you could evolve to be a better free. I mean butterfree, switching that terminology. Everything I'm just smashing like Link with the pottery. Now take a second, let me see where I'm at. I'm in the zone, you still navigating the map. Matter of fact, so many journeys that probably you doing. Running around the power, begin to capture like Ash Catcher for Pallet Town. So Captain Falcon, I'm racing to find my common ground. Finish lines like Need for Speed Underground. It's such a blur, take a mount, top selecting me, repeatedly pressing A, no games about to lecture me. I'm so over like Mario at the flag post. I'm so over like Luigi when he vax ghosts. Pull out the credits and tokens and take a part of my man behind the control of the game. I press and start. Player one.
Welcome to the game.
So for this one, it was just tutorials. I was actually, when I made this song, I was inspired by The Matrix Reloaded, where it was like the upgrades kind of thing. But I also wanted to say like, hey, this is something I've done before, just like any kind of demo. So when you get into a demo, it's like I'm literally going into the genre for the first time. So player one represents the demo to me for nerdcore. That's what that means. So when I made tutorials, I wanted to kind of show my stuff, like, if it's something I can rap, something I can be able to do what I need to. So that's the reason why I did that. And by having that also kind of shows the element of how much I've grown for individuals who are already fans of my music years before. So it's kind of like a treat for both. So this third one, a lot of people know, and they know it, and they see me perform it all the time. And it's player one. And what the funny thing about it is, you would think this would have been the first song I recorded. You know what I mean? Oh, I want to be player one. Here's player one concept, blah, blah, blah. I'm player one, right? Game over, right? It was the last song I recorded. And the reason why it was the last song I recorded is because I was like, okay, I'm player one. And, you know, this concept is very complicated and things like that. And what people don't understand about albums is it's much nerds, you know, like doing things that are complicated and detailed and things like that. You know? Ooh, I got to follow.
Your hands are always like
cool.
this. And that's what makes it look like hip hop.
That's interesting. I got a follower without even being on. That's pretty cool on the Twitch side. Awesome. So, long story short, you know, we do a lot of difficult things, and being introverts and all that stuff is because of the concept that we want things to be simple. We want everything to work. We want everything to not have any problems, any errors, anything. And that's the reason why we do those things. So that's where that comes into. So when I made player one, I wanted to make it as a call and response so I could perform it and have fun. But at the same time, I could be able to explain, hey, my name is player one, blah, blah, blah. When I say player, you say one. And that's what it was. The funny thing is I wrote the verses before I could write the hook. And then I was just looking, I was like, you know, all the hooks I have are kind of complicated. So why not make a, when I say player, you say one? And then I'm just thinking like, okay, that hypes up the track, you know, it hypes up the people. Okay, awesome, right? Oh, well, I appreciate you. Man, Rollo, I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. How you been? My bro, Rollo. Do you still got the fro? Please tell me you still got the fro. If you don't, I'm going to be upset. But either way, that's where that came into. So when I made player one, I was thinking about those, and then that's where the hook came in, like that. So I'll go right into it.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm player one.
Player, 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 player.
When I say player, you say one.
Player, player.
When I say player, you say one.
Player, player.
When I say player, you say one.
Player, player.
When I say player, you say one. Yeah.
Flip the switch, I'm quick to get it started. Ready to save the game, the flow's memory carded. Error the heavy hearted, 80s baby in the carpet. Straight running out of lives, the level getting restarted. Pay attention, that's not all you remember. You think I'm Hayabusa the way I'm guiding these ninjas. A shredder of competition, they call me Master Splinter. I wish your body would like I was floating in the river. I'm just stating facts. You wanna warn a brother that's undercover? I could be an animaniac, so give me your energy, hands reaching it worldwide. I reach souls without even using a bankai, without a battle cry. I guarantee I'm the Ryo, a wildfire, the hack and slash, you're starting fire. So I apologize, the game's just begun. Solo missions, and I'm player one.
When I say player, you say one.
Player, player.
When I say player, you say one.
Player. Player,
when I say player, you say one.
Player, player.
When I say player, you say one.
Take a gander, the words are controversial. Look at you, look at me. I'm that Old Spice commercial. The way I hop over hurdles like Donatello in purple. They say I really did it when I even asked your Urkel like, why your line so outdated, suspenders? Caught up in the mix like it's a blender. I know we been nerds, but you don't have to keep saying these pop references nobody remembers. So I stay in the lane, rubbing the covenant coming. Master Chief with Cortana straight buzzing me, y'all. Walk in my shoes, you'll probably fall. I'm a leader, that's why the rest follow me, y'all. Cause I come with no fear when I finally brawl. For the family, my courage ain't cowardly, dog. So I'ma soar for the sky until I reach the sun. A lot of multiplayers, but I'm player one.
When I say player, you say one.
Player, player.
When I say player, you say what?
Player.
When I say player, you say what?
Player.
When I say player, you say what? Yeah. I'm from the west side of Detroit City, and player one is in the house. I'm from the west side of Detroit City, and player one is in the house. When I say player, you say what?
Player.
When I say player, you say what?
Player.
When I say player, you say what?
Player.
When I say player, you say what? Yeah.
So that one's player one. I mean, everybody knows that one. I say player, you say one. I mean, a lot of people know that song 'cause that's one of my favorite songs to perform. And it's crazy how the virtual chats, everybody types one. Everybody in the crowd, even if they know me or not, they're like, one. And it's actually probably one of my most fun tracks to perform. Honestly, I think it's one of my favorite tracks to perform. So this next joint actually, which is interesting, is it's called The Touch. And that's for individuals who know I'm a Transformers fan. You know, you got the touch, you got the power. And that's where the song titled The Touch came from. So I didn't want to call it Transformers Rap or Decepticons or Autobots or Optimus Prime or, any kind of basic names. I just wanted to call it The Touch because now I got the touch of, the touch of my nerd culture into this. So it features Mike, Jack, and Finale. Shout outs to those guys. They definitely did a thing on that, and it made it fun. You know what I mean? So, like, fun fact, like me and Mike Jack been rapping and doing music together since 2004. Like since high school, we started out together, and it's just really cool to see it on the growth. So when you see later on the players, the Player One series, it kind of has its dynamics. So when you see Massacre Mike, that would be Mike Jack's character later on, just to give you a gem of it. So you know that, Major not only went, the villain not only went to measures to try to figure out to, keep me trapped or destroy me, he went for somebody who knew me personally. And that's kind of element I want to paint later on in the story. So here's The Touch.
Check.
Straight out the tape deck, speaking through sound waves. Dig deeper in the Galvatron with cement paved. The transmission I'm spitting, knowing I just laid. Got the same degrees that created another ice age. So frigid, my pen visits is non-stop. I'm Toronto of this genre, call me Grimlock. Call it Rescue Patrol, this body's red hot. No fire truck to match the infernos that I got. Enough brag, I'm toe tagging them all. I'm about to blow. You thought that Michael Bay was involved, so red alert. My Lambo's a guaranteed a sunstreaker. It got a twin that side swipe through these speakers. With these features, I've been fixing the glow. So I just do it like I'm Shia LaBeouf. I got the touch, and what the power 80s would show. Filled with nothing but energetic guitar solos, bro.
Heard Trump try to send Optimus after Kim Jong. He ain't closed the deal, just hopped in Air Force One to chop it up with Starscream instead of looking for Megatron. Robert Mueller was on the scene, cause he thought they was all Russian up until he took his new MacBook. The Somerset, the Apple Tech brought it back and said, sir, that's a robot in disguise and everything ain't what it seemed. Boy, you need to be checking logos. So you bought a Beverly Hills horse and not the Ralph Lauren Polo. We just scavengers in it for the long haul. Watching for the hook will ravage and rumble with the ratchet. Target the mix master, working with Sam and K. Jaeger. Volleyballing with bombshells, shrapnel, kickback, created the shockwave. Took a laser break until my crown came. Back in with thundercrackers and buzzsaws. A bone crusher, run about to run amok and headstrong. A dead end if you cross cut.
every day I wake up, I'm 4 different people. And gotta keep it together so none of myself is see-through. There's more to me that meets the eye. Wake up, grab my suit and tie. Be the guy that everyone I work with knows you can't rely on. But soon as 5:30 hit, bitch, I transform. A man born out of the dirt and through the sandstorm. I peel back, my baby tell me, come on, grab the wheel, Jack, and show these motherfuckers a little something about real rap. So I traded my tie for a hoodie, simply speeding up. You couldn't outbar me if you did chats with Wikipedia. Speaking of bars, I hit the stage and I get more mean. Arm bars, tapping out, that's how you make a star scream. Our team is elegant, have a hell of a news week. I'm stealing back the prize. You see Martin Lawrence and Blue Streak? I'm also a husband and friends of my clan. So kick back, rewind this verse, then you might understand that I'm the man.
So, so that was The Touch, featuring Mike Jack and Finale. And there's some interesting gems about this one. So, the funny thing about me and Finale is that we both have the same last name, but we never really knew each other like that. No family connections or anything of those natures. And I reached out because he was saying, seeing me producing in battles, and he was just saying, like, there's a person you really need to watch out for is Mark Cooper. And it's like, I didn't know you really knew me at all. Like, it was that kind of thing. Like, we were friends, but we never really had conversations before. So this is one of those particular aspects in the album. I was like, you know what? This is a free reign if I want to come out with whatever I want to come out with music wise. So I reached out, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, look, man, this is Detroit. This aesthetic is just, either it's like complete bar smiths about life or whatever, or the 5 sentences of what we normally talk about, or hood stuff or whatever. But I mean, he's not built like that at all. But it's just, just being able to ask something like that, especially for somebody who's done great accolades and had a great career, you know what I mean, but still does. And I asked him, I said, hey, would you want to rap about Transformers? And then he was kind of like, Transformers, like the cartoon? I'm like, well, yeah. Would you want to write a verse about that? He's like, you know, you caught me on a good day. What does that mean? The next day he gives me the verse. I have never been in a position where, so I just asked him, I said, look, I just want to make this Transformers song. Is that something you want to do? Sure. And then that sparked the aspect of, if you want something to happen, you got to go and ask for it. The worst they can say to you in life is no. That particular moment woke up things of, if I wanted to, I could figure out a way to talk to individuals or convince people to, if they want to do something like that and reach out. If you got a dream and you got something that you want to put together and you want it to be the best that you want it to be, say something. Like my girl says, she says, the squeaky wheel gets the oil every time. And I feel the same way. And then, my dad also was like that too. He was just kind of like, look, the more focused and driven you are about going to get something that you want, the more possible it is to happen. If you just sit there and just contemplate and try to figure out why certain things don't work the way they need to work, and you just sit yourself there all the time, you'll never get anything done. Or you'll get something done and it's just done. And the thing is, what I wanted to make sure is that when I did make that conversion into doing like nerd music and things like that, is I want to do the things I want to do. And that's why the concept is called I Am Player One. It wasn't just because I wanted to be called that. Player One is an intangible name. It's a default. Everybody who plays a video game and never created a profile or anything is considered a player one. So when I call it I Am Player One, I'm saying that I am a default. You don't know who I am. You don't know what I can do. This is a demo. This is me trying this out. If it doesn't work out or something like that, just like any demos, they disappear. And that's why I did it like that. So the things I wanted to rap about, the things I wanted to do, I literally, because I wanted to do them, not because I saw there was an opportunity, or I saw that there was, just a community by it. None of that. I did it because I wanted to do it. And it was something that was fun. That's player one. And that's the reason why I did it like that. So the next part is going to be Sabrina, the AI. That's when I actually get an AI. But what I wanted to do is that, just like any other video game, the AI is extremely helpful, blah, 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 things like that, right? I wanted mine to have somewhat of an attitude. I wanted them to be like the person who's irritated by every new person that comes into a video game and literally is dying and losing and not paying attention, didn't read the manual. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about an AI that got a job in a video game to guide newer players, right? So that's where that comes from. So like I said, what I did with this is that I had another person mix all the songs, but I wanted to take a stab at the skits myself because I wanted to learn how to mix stuff. So that's why I said, make a project the way you want to. So the volumes may be kind of weird, I understand it, but like I said, I mean, after November, this will be 5 years old. So we'll go right into it.
Hello, Player One. I'm Sabrina, the artificial intelligence, and I'll be assisting you throughout the game.
You mean like Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
I see you're one of those guys. Okay, great. I guess I couldn't get a guy with better humor.
Hey.
Anywho, I see you're having some trouble within the game. How can I assist you?
Well, I seem to be stuck, and I'm trying to find my way out.
Player One, listen closely to what I'm about to tell you. The only way out of the game is to obtain the All-Star.
Oh, you mean like Optimus Prime? Let's go.
This is serious. If you want my help, I'll need you to be more alert.
Okay.
Now, as I was saying, it is impossible to defeat the game without it. You'll have to complete each level in order to get to the All-Star.
How do I get to the All-Star?
Unfortunately, it won't be that easy. All of the levels won't be the same. The further you go, the more challenging it will become. In order to proceed to the next level, you'll have to defeat the level bosses. If you're willing to cooperate, I can guide and assist you so that the process goes smoothly.
Wow, that sounds awesome, because I got some, like, Superman ice cream in the freezer I just got to get to.
This is gonna take a while, isn't it? Alright then, you better get started.
So you could see even through the beats that the mixing was different for me. And you could also see in player one that I put in everything that I always wanted to do. So if you can hear the way the drum pattern is on that, that is kind of like a synthwave feel. So when you got to test drive and you got to, the Allspark and they have those particular elements in it, that's where it was spawned on. So I Am Player One was the demo of everything I ever wanted to do in music, period. So that's the reason why I did that. So having the AI, it's like being able to find the Allspark. The Allspark is what is the Power Glove. I didn't want to call it the Nintendo Power Glove because it's just too cliche of whatever to be in the name of. So I wanted to, if I'm making a story, I want to make the story the way I wanted to make it. Like I wanted to name it something different and make, blend different storylines and put them together just to make one storyline, to make it fun. There's the Allspark, Optimus Prime, it's a power glove that you wear. You can be able to talk to your childhood heroes by pushing a button. And Allspark means everything all included. That's what the word means. So if I'm in the video game, everything that's included in it is communicated. So that's why the Allspark, the Power Glove is called the Allspark. So that's another gem for you too. Oh man, did it just close out? Okay, good. I want to make sure the thing didn't close out. All right, cool. I was about to be upset. All right, next one is Nicktoons, because I like rapping about my cartoon nostalgia stuff. So shout outs to LY. We met in college. So he was like, yeah, I rap. I was like, I rap too. I was like, okay, cool. We should do something. But the thing is, we met back in like 2011. like maybe 2011, 2009, around that era. And we never really had a situation to collab. So like maybe that 7 years later was like, yeah, it's time for us to do some music together. Okay, cool. So that's what makes it interesting. Okay, cool. I'm seeing comments now. Before I wasn't able to see them. Oh, I hate when that happens. So I'm sorry. Okay. This whole thing is weird because I didn't see none of these a second ago. Okay. So the next one's Nicktoons, so I'll go right into it. Oop.
Ooh, my Cooper.
Player one. Player one.
I've been on my Reggie Rocket, my auto's been on the grind. Push forward like a twisted, a squid won't stop me in time. Must be out of their mind like Ren and Stimpy combined. They thinking they all that. I'ma have to decline. The world of Alex Mack, my flow will liquefy. So if you afraid of the dark, my campfire will rise. And cousin Skeeter will rise. The pattern that I describe, I snicker perfect lines to proving I'm prime time. Ballin' like Studa Baker with a buzz that's on my pager. You knowin' I have the guts from America to euthanasia. Just put in the work. You think ain't questioning labor. The rest explains it all. I couldn't say any greater. So you be doing the most, like Danny Phantom with Ghost. Missing vital information and Lori Beth is the host. And you ain't even close. Your career is Alice Strange. Cause after a few years, you'll no longer remain. I'll show these rugrats, these dummy bears real soon. Think like a Carmichael. Waited, I nicked you. You thought I was Harry the Spy, the way I you thought I trigger with Tommy Pickles, the way I you thought I was Doug Funny, I ain't crummy when I Coop it up. It's Mark Cooper, playing ones the way
Hell finally linked up. It's monsters versus aliens. Turn this to a chalk zone, face covered like Arabians. I'm that cat dog, you can't walk on us. We started off as rugrats, but now we all grown up. We done took over the game, so these cats can't stand us. Dressed in black and white, looking like the Kung Fu Panda. Yakety yak in my cup, and I brung two dancers. I can slay two players like I brung two Sanders. So for real, don't pick that fight. Cause I nick tunes in the day, but I still can get you nicked that night. Plus if I miss with the left, you gon' get that right. Or we gon' figure it out, you better get that right. Who said you better kill this? I said that's a breeze. I'm about that action, homie, I should start an action league. Ask any other rapper that ever hopped on the track with me. This ain't a Nicktoon, this a Wesley Snipes action scene. So you boys better duck, you hear that big boom. You gon' think that Canon animated way I Nicktoons.
You thought I was Harry the Spy, the way I you thought I trigger with Tommy Pickles, the way I you thought I was Doug Funny, I ain't crummy when it's Mark Cooper as player one, the way I turn the page. Wash your hands, modern life is sacred, Rocco can understand. So if your dog's spunky, know that my dog's greaser. You don't want a god dagger like an angry beaver. You better catch a breather like you was Carl Weezer. Don't miss me, get foul when brain blast meters. In a snap, my words will draw it home. Turn Rudy to booty and race them all in this chalk zone. Legend of Hidden Temple, a wild and crazy kid. Figure it out, knowing that Summer Sanders did. Know I be practiced, being star with the Patrick. You think you know my flow, so watching me change my accents. The way I planned it, advantage, and think your stand is my job. Go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work. Mentality is SpongeBob, except not square and I don't care. And I got room like a hot rod. I'm Timmy Turner with the burner. I know a parent, I'm fairly odd. Nostalgia in your mind, knowing it just bloom. I rock sniz and fondue when I nick tunes. You thought I was Harry the Spy, the way I nick tunes. You thought I trigger with Tommy Pickles, the way I nick tunes. You thought I was Doug Funny, I ain't crummy when I nick tunes.
So that was one of the things that I was doing with Nicktoons. Definitely love my Nickelodeon things like that. And then on top of that, I went into and did a Cartoon Network version of it right afterwards. The reason why I did that is because I like both aspects of it. So on that one, I have Crimson Alchemist. Shouts to Crimson Alchemist. And what I wanted to do is Boomerang, which would be the perfect name for it, is because I'm rapping about Cartoon Network, and one of the networks is called Boomerang. But I made the hook saying Boomerang, Boomerang. Good music never leaves, just Boomerang. Just like good cartoons, they just never leave. They just come back. So that's the kind of aspect I took on when it came to that. So yeah. Ooh.
I'm calling shots like quick draw McGraw while swimming in the pool of sharks and leaving them with jabberjaw. Life is a chase like Tom and Jerry and Ball. I've been my own island like Mike, Lou, and Og. I jet sunlight spacely, better phone home. A bedrock straight to sleep like the Flintstones. Most of you talk drive, so you mean mug me. See, I'm a speed racer, and you a speed buggy. Much iller than Magilla Gorilla. Finish was finished, my punchlines ain't Rilla. Just know that the Looney Tunes that they telling me, cook it up like a recipe remedy to the point you have to marry these melodies heavenly. So don't look down like Charlie Brown. The Greek is just a mystery that never be found. So no squiggly diggly, no augie doggy.
Order
Take
food
a leap
at the
of
same
space
time.
ghost if you're feeling froggy. They will call me and say I missed the plane, but I'll come back around and that's the part of the game. So I sit and chill with the amazing Chan clan while Josie and the Pussycats can rock the American bandstand. Boomerangs, boomerangs. Good music never leaves, just boomerangs. Boomerangs, boomerangs. Good music never
Child's
leaves,
play.
just boomerangs.
The kid is back bringing hella schemes to the cul-de-sac. But jawbreakers so big that make your teeth crack. Travel the region with companions that know double team. Will never catch me without a cap like I'm double D. I double back so the currency can quadruple. I used to get caught tremendous, so burning checks what I should do. Usually in the lab with an engine in a Newtonium. Cooking shit that'll make me the mayor, step off my podium. Back then when the hottest things was MP3s, I was playing RPGs and watching PPG. Lacing my lyrics with sugar spice and everything nice. Chemical BMX the way I handle bars on the mic. My inner child makes me come alive. Even my logo out here looking like number 5. Some things you see ain't always true, but it's a fact. I let them have it like a Mac, but my name ain't Blue Regard Q Kazoo. A mental institute is probably where I belong. With Freaky Fred giving haircuts in the other room. You're searching far and wide for the best, I'm giving it. As I walk in the label deep like Justice League Unlimited.
Boomerangs, boomerangs. Good music never leaves, just boomerangs. Boomerangs, boomerangs. Good music never leaves, just boomerangs.
Great. So, like I said, those are one of the one of the records I made on that, which is awesome. I just with Player One, I just wanted to make songs I wanted to make. You know what I mean? At the given time or where it needs to be. That's the reason why I did them. So that's something that you think about here. Now, this next record's actually kind of, it's a hard record to get through. Like in all different nerd aspects, we all had relationship situations, we all had breakups, we all had all those things. And this song, Star Power, is just, what it feels like to be on cloud nine when you like somebody. So, shouts to Monsoon on this record. And, this is just a way of saying you like somebody in a nerdy way. That's probably the best way I can explain it.
used to wake up in the morning, wondering what I had to deal with. Not interested in rugrats, no lip chips. But I'm looking for the gym and the holograms, no misfits. All the Sailor Moon in the distance. Shyness in a mask, suited with a tuxedo. But I'm a nerd. I'm not compatible with a whole bunch of people, but she making bigger moves. I've been on my max keyboard, just looking for a fusion. The levels gotta be equal, I'm just saying. Like a main character's dialogue. It means nothing while counterparts involved. So I send words and signals to the higher ups. Nothing like gadgets, cause those words could self-destruct pretty much. I understand real life is not a fairy tale, but holding you makes me feel like it's the real thing. The only words I can describe you in a nutshell is these 4 letters, and your inner child will always sing.
All my shining star, don't you flow away. Don't you flow away. 'Cause baby, you have the brightest smile, shine right through the gray. Don't you flow away.
You got that type of love that I guaranteed I cannot quit. Must be aerobics, you work me out with that outfit. Makes you wanna explore your mind and favorite spots, but on a deeper level, make your diadox, Lord. On that note, change the interval. Having you as a colorful star feels so invincible. To the point if I'm challenged in any battle, I know don't be any hassle. Cause even if I'm lost and I end up at the wrong castle, like back in 92. Must be getting old, seeing us riding down Rainbow Road. In the zone, I got unlimited credits, heads in the game. But you know my pickup lines are pathetic. I want you to know that I adore you, and I got feelings and passion to drive towards you. But it's a mess I couldn't learn from the astronomy lesson. The type of theory of NASA couldn't even begin to question, cause you are blessed.
I don't even know who that even is.
Just when I thought my feelings would never have a home, I'm in over my head like Ned Stark in the Game of Thrones. I still feel like conversations on the phone, but I must be in debt with Stafford. I just can't leave you alone. Like, you got a spirit that's just as strong as your ego, but I'll still hold your hand into the last hour. So I know that guitars gotta be your heroes. That's why I wanna leave you with my star power.
Okay, so star power, which is basically, where you feel like on cloud 9 when you're, when you like somebody, and that's where that comes into. So yeah, so it just puts it all together when it comes to that. So the next one, ironically, is called Gamer for Life, and I actually made that song back in 2014. Like, that was around the time before I wanted to try it out again, do something different, and that's how I came out with this one. Gamer for Life, I love video games. It's pretty self-explanatory, so go right into it.
stay. I'm a gamer for life. No one take my controller away. The way we live life, I'll be just fine. My mind, I feel I'm on 99. I'm a gamer for life. A gamer for life.
I'm in my prime like Metroid, hydro pump like Blastoise. I'm on fire like the NBA, still undefeated with the bad boys. Music causes that mass effect. To all those Final Fantasies, I read Elder Scrolls to oblivion that I had to take an arrow to the knee. Like Centipede or Millipede, so Major League, got no choice but to Counter-Strike or Street Fight like Chun-Li. Pac-Man, I'm hungry, flip fireballs, I'm Yoshi. James Bond and Sam Fisher are contradictions, don't quote me. Ass man, I don't audible, but the vector man, no particles of an arsenal. Headline in the next LA North article. Always making the right moves, but Mega Man, I jump shoot. But I never knew since 04, I'll be wrapped up. In H3, I battle pros. Gear 3s, I shatter foes. To the point they go 8-bit. That's Double Dragon and Battletoads. On the roll like calamari. No Milton Bradley, not saying sorry. Got Call of Duty on Newtown. Guaranteed no time to party.
Knowing I am here to stay. I'm a gamer for life. No one take my controller away. The way we live life, I'll be just fine. My mind, I feel I'm on 99. I'm a gamer for life. A gamer for life.
Like floorboarders, I'm snow sliding. Tony Hawk, I'm rail gliding. Doesn't matter what system you provide. On the hack and slash like Ninja Guy. Duck out, tell my ill suit punch out. With Mike Tyson, my reflex and that Zombrecht. No guarantee, no dead rise. I work hard, live life, but level up is my motto. I go in like Grand Theft with 5 stars, that full throttle on that same special. Ass catch 'em, guaranteed I'm gonna catch 'em all. If Mario wanna smash brothers with melees, we gon' have to brawl. It's the way that I grew up with consoles. If you can tell, you try to rag on PC, you'll get a wow and an LOL. Live the life of Capcom, so our moves ain't never sloppy. I'm still the man that courtside. And Wayne Gretzky, 3D hockey. Games got me through hard times, more than I can emphasize. The more I played, I realized those sad moments get minimized. Negatives in your hard drive, take them out of your archive and shut down. Cause right now, this is our life.
I'm a gamer for life. Knowing I'm here to stay. I'm a gamer for life. No one take my controller away. The way we live life, I'll be just fine. My mind, I feel I'm on 99. I'm a gamer for life. A gamer for life.
I recall times where I started off in the old days, there were no saves. Had to put those quarters in all those arcades, running through those hallways to play Soul Blade and Primal Rage. Then I found out I have to drive, so I be cruising through USA. Life has no walkthrough, may be hard to understand, but we run into obstacles, we upgrade like Borderlands. Something straight out of nothing, that's the way that my mind's crafted. He found the Prince of Persia to find out how time lasts.
That was a struggle. Man, it's crazy to say that that particular track is 8 years old. So just the growth of what I sound like now versus what I sounded like back then is mind blowing. One fun fact is that when you look at the cover, it was in a different path of life where I was a lot heavier. I was anywhere between I think 265, 275 pounds. Um, I was diagnosed with type 2 and I had life threatening sleep apnea in a sleep study, meaning that I would literally stop breathing in my sleep. So it was one of those particular things in life where I was scared to go to sleep. So one of the jobs I was able to get back then at that time is I worked night shift at like a CVS kind of thing. And when you work night shift and you're by yourself and things like that, like crazy enough, it's like you're sleep. It's like you're awake, but you're not awake. You're kind of sleep the whole time. And then you just start hallucinating. Like you'll think that somebody's there, but nobody's there. Like it's a different element of life that you go through with that. Like when you don't really get the amount of sleep that you need. And then it gets to that. But all I could think about then was I gotta write this song and I'm writing songs when nobody's in the place. I'm just literally writing verses. You know what I mean? Writing verses on receipt sheets because, every now and then I would buy the notebook, but I'll forget it. So I would have to write it on there. But that's how I was making the Awakening album. And that's like way before this. Like, but one of the things is it's always been ever since. It's always been constant work. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to finish this. I got to finish this. I got to complete that. I got to complete this. I got to do that. I got to make sure I do the show with it. Everything I ever spent money wise on that was on my craft. You know what I mean? It was on my craft and it was on food every time. That's all I was genuinely focused on. Like, I remember times where, I would work a 80-hour week or something like that. And then, my check will be $500. 250 of it went to the studio. 250 went to it. And that was giving me 10 hours. 10 hours to be able to do what I need to do or whatever. You know what I mean? And this is why I didn't have a car. So I would borrow my dad's car and I would drive all the way over to the east side area, which is probably about a good 30, 45 minutes to go over to that studio and literally do it. So I would do it in breaks. So I would have 5 hours and just break it up. So like 5 hours here, then 5 hours there. And I would home and I would practice and practice and practice all the time. And that's things like that where it got to the point that you realize in your life it's all you've done. Even though I still went to school and graduated and stuff like that, that's fine. But you just think about like, what everybody else's positions are. Some people are, happily married, they have a family. Some of them have their big boy or big girl job and all that stuff. I didn't have any of that. I was still trying to figure it out. I mean, my parents were even trying to figure it out. They were just like, so what you really want to do? Like, I mean, I understand you want to do music and stuff and you can work a job, but, when you want to move on and do something. And those are particular things that haunt you at night. They do. And that's something that I always want to say is that that's why I was able to make a project like I Am Player One because I didn't want to be Mark Cooper anymore because life was hard for Mark. So by being a default and just literally putting myself inside of a game, it made it easier for me. So that's what I mean by gamer for life and things like that. It's like, there's just things about me I never want to change. There were a lot of different transformations that I had to do for my health, for my life. And those are things I think about. So the next track is Mortal Kombat High. And to date, that is my most popular song. Everybody loves it. Everybody likes to play it. They love when I perform it, all those things. But there is something I want to teach about in life that you may not really have known about it. So I was chopping it up with a great friend of mine, PJ. You know what I mean? I've known him for years. And I was sitting there working on this Player One album and telling about it. Yeah, it's like I'm trapped in the video game and all that stuff. It's like, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like Page is, like very straightforward about everything. He's straightforward about all types of stuff. So I was like, he was looking for beats. So he's like, what's this MKH thing? Oh, Mortal Kombat High. Oh, that's just something I made, like a remix of a song I like. Okay. Mark, this is fire. I was like, well, thanks, man. You know what I mean? It's just beats. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And then he was like, you should make a song to this. And I looked at him, I was like, nah, bro, I'm not gonna make a song about Mortal Kombat High School and all this kind of stuff. It's like, it's nerdier things like that, but nobody would gravitate towards that in the city or whatever. And then he was like, and this is probably one of those most life changing quotes like in my career. And I don't know if he really knows it, how powerful it was, but this is what it was. He's like, Mark, this is supposed to be fun. And I'm like, yeah, I understand it. I mean, it's nerd stuff. It's cool. Of course it's going to be fun. No, you don't understand, Mark. This is supposed to be fun. You decide to do this to get away from everything else. These are songs that you want to make because these are things you want to talk about. These are your things. These are things that you love. You love Mortal Kombat and all that stuff. You love games. You love cartoons. You love all this stuff. Why not do this? And then I looked at it, I was like, you know what? You're right. Okay, let me see if I could come out with a song and do what I need to. And just because of that, that's one of my most popular songs I've ever made. And then that's one of the things that's life-changing because of the fact that you move further, and you're more successful making the things that you want to make versus trying to make something that you think everybody will like. That like threw the whole thing into fruition. Like it put the whole storyline together, everything. That very moment when he said that's supposed to be fun is what sparked and put everything together in this album. Just that one quote of him saying that to me. The Player One series, at the end of the day, Mark Cooper, it's supposed to be fun. Who cares what the city or what algorithms or what anything matters? Make this because it's fun. And sometimes as artists, we forget that. We forget that all the time. We do. We forget it all the time. Sorry. But like I said, this is Mortal Kombat High. And that's why it means a lot to me.
You're in Mortal Kombat High. When the girls are fine, there's a pretty good chance you die.
Oh, my Cooper.
You're in Mortal Kombat High. When the girls are fine, there's a pretty good chance you die.
Stepped into class, my kicks fly like Luke Kane. I mean fire, see the flame on my shoestrings. Big change from the way I really used to do things. Coded in my blood and my genesis, so peep game. Nothing like the others, consider me an exile. The spit vial, probably burn the skin off a reptile. No babality, you don't want it with this child. Hope you got Principal Shao Kahn on speed dial. Cause I'm a problem, do the math like Cyrex. Just because I'm black, my best friend is not Jack. It's Johnny Cage that came with designer shades. With a swagger so sharp, that's why he wrote what's on your blade. Let me behave, I feel when I got it made. Sitting in class, here come Professor J. Test my might and I'll be willing to say, and do extra credit, do what it takes to get an A. Among all of my my peers, Hanzo stopped in the pier, wonder how I got over here. An earth realm pinpointed on the map, give a transfer shot, I respond to Aaron Black. What you lack is the power of a supernatural. I'm colder than frost on ice skates, doing triple axles, Ready for battle like Baraka and Kano, off the top like Kung Lao, so you can see where the brain flow. I just entered the credits, so I'm paying the cost. Words are enlightening, cause Raiden's still stuck in his thoughts. It was taught to turn rain into a monsoon. My mind was trained to take out the souls of all these Shang Tsuns. Now let me lift your spirits like Ermac. Same answer when I ask Katana where your fans at. I'm so toasty, I got heat for you folks. That circle deep pass after uppercuts end up being in smoke.
So that's Mortal Kombat High. It's the song that changed my life. It's the song that no matter what happens, just have fun, Mark. From the work to life, to anything you go through, man. Just keep it fun. Ignore the roadblocks. Ignore anybody that tells you that you can't do something. Music's supposed to be fun. Never stop having fun. Because once the time you do that, you're back where you started. I don't like starting over. I've already been through a lot in life. So just so you know, player one is the default. It's a way to get into a particular realm of things where nobody even knows who you are. And you can make the things that you want to make without anybody saying anything to you about it. So it could be literally anybody's name and say, I am player one, because we've all been there. We've all been to a position where we just want to do something for ourselves. We want to create things we want to create. That's why player one's so powerful. And then when you see at the end of the particular album, Kuma, this ain't the time or the place right now, bro. This isn't the time to do that. So please don't do that in the chat. I'm not for it today. I would appreciate it. So, like I said, that's where that comes in. So, yeah. All right. So, next one is Marvelous. Well, I went into Marvel. So,
Mic check,
And one thing I do want to know, do you hear how heavy the breathing is? So I wanted to let you know that, the breathing was hard then. So it was hard to do these particular songs and rap where it needs to.
My life straight out the comic strip. How do you feel? I feel marvelous. Show my true colors, the cartoonists can honor this. There were moments I couldn't go on beyond the risk of being around integers, and they ain't nothing positive. Matter of fact, much rockier than the thing. Bunch of heated decisions that Giant Store couldn't bring. So, dealt the cards I was handed like Gambit. My name couldn't remember the bow. I couldn't stand it, so feet planted like first class Xavier. Out of my mind, my juggernaut behavior. No helmet, I'm coming with brute strength. Being so fantastic, I stretch to new lengths. Some are shapeshifters, nothing new to me. Spark interest like Dazzle, you run and flee like Jubilee. Who are you to me? Must be a sentinel, carbon copy identical like most these individuals.
I'm so marvelous. So marvelous. It dawned on us to be marvelous.
As long as I remember, had a Wolverine temper. Colder than Bucky Rogers, killing Tony's family members. When he felt it in the center, was time to become a winner. Moving with a quickness may max him off a beginner. The people overachievers don't make any mistakes. They all turn to rogue and start duplicating traits. They cold to the touch what Bobby Lewis avoid, and still become a beast like it was Henry McCoy. Rise like the phoenix is telepathically spoken. A strong black woman, the weather storm of emotions. Straight to the science, I'm sinister with the doses. With such a mental power, I can never lose focus. I know that. I go ballistic like summer's octic beams. When X-Men open the scenes, we viciously yell at Gene. Having the type of speeches that live like telekinesis and leave haters alarmed like when security breaches.
I'm so marvelous. So marvelous. It dawned on us to be marvelous.
Thanks. So for this track, it's actually marvelous. Here's a funny story about it, because I know that was kind of sad earlier, and I apologize. But funny thing about Marvelous, I was recording this, and then there was a female that was supposed to, like an actual singer that was on this track, right? Like a friend of ours, at the studio said, she can sing or whatever, right? The hook is, I'm so marvelous, it pawned on us to be marvelous, right? When I tell you, this person took 7 hours. I'm not lying to you. 7 hours to sing that part, and had to do it over and over and over and over again. 7 hours to do that hook. It got to the point where I was being as patient as I possibly could. And I said, look, I'm going to head out of here. I'm tired. So she went at it another 2 hours. And he was like, look, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's a wrap. I said, fine. I'll just sing the hook. So that's how the hook came about. Because that person took 7 hours to do that. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So it just lets you know in general, it's not even about being a perfectionist. She just was singing it wrong. And even thought about, doing it her way or whatever. And it just got really weird. You know what I mean? Like, so that's like the crazy thing about Marvelous. Like, and you want to know what's even funnier about it is that this was also produced by Marv One. So that's what makes it even cooler. So I'm so marvelous. Produced by Marv One. It's about Marvel. You know what I mean? It's all puns, play on words on that one. You know what I mean? So the next thing is actually, speaking of it, is yeah, yeah, it does. I mean, but the difference between a punch in and anything else is that you already know what you want it to sound like. If I told you to direct the way I wanted it to sound and you listen and you have a referenced example, I mean, what else do you need? But this next one is hard. This one's hard. Like, just like any other, being on a mountain high in a relationship or something like that. This is where it's the other side. Like when you experience a breakup. So I wanted to have like an open and a closed situation. So that's why I put it together like that. So Rainbow Road is probably one of the greatest beautiful disaster metaphors ever. As in, as pretty and as vibrant and as colorful Rainbow Road is also the most difficult track in Mario Kart history. Period. It's the most difficult ever. So even though things could be great, on the surface level and looking, things may not be great. So that's why I made the song Rainbow Road. It is kind of referencing Mario Kart in life or a relationship. So that's what this is. Knew the stage was special, had her own controllers, the feet was on the pedals. I'm meaning on the love, I've never been on this level, so I go with the flow and I know never to settle. But she, a golden mushroom that give me amounts of energy to be able to reach in the stars of invincibility. Surrounding her with shells, so she always protected, dodging banana peels of the path we haven't expected in life. There were sights we wasn't ready to bite. We both fell off the map and start beginning to fight. I know the feeling wasn't right. She gave our mutual advice to fix the old hood of problems that turned on engine lights. But I demanded our mechanics and our vision is tight. A couple bumps in the road could be replaced with flight. But she was very patient and started the conversation and spoke with the biggest horn so I could feel what she's saying. So we're in racing mode. Two beams trying to reach the goals. Not speaking in code. But where do we lose control of our Rainbow Road? Rainbow Road. What we had was so beautiful. So how did we lose control of our Rainbow? She said, I just wanted to be treated the same. That means certain situations had to be rearranged. Not saying you didn't treat me like a queen, but God spoke to me in my sleep when he told me follow my dreams. So for now, this double dash a solo mission. But wait, I already know how you drive in this condition. Listen, don't think for a second I didn't have love for you. From the new car smell to the dirtiest crud oil, you make my blood boil sometimes just to let you know. Plus you got a big head, it's still hard to let you go. I apologize when my heart is set on design, and soon it'll be so graphic the viewer discretion's advised. So it would be wise you wouldn't drive right in front of me. I got a blue shell that would love to keep you company. So give me a hug and let's focus on our career. Just because we were an item don't mean we disappear from here. We're in grinding mode. Two beings trying to reach the goals. Not speaking in code. But where do we lose control of our Rainbow Road? Rainbow Road. So for now let's take it slow. Wouldn't mind going cruise control on Rainbow. I feel like a red shell heading for my last balloon, but I'm unable to stop and the game will be over soon. So numbers come, I have no choice but to watch it, cause I'm out of credits and no tokens to deposit. I started patting my pockets to see if there was another way. Prayer goes the distance is something my mother always say, but don't look away.
Just because this game is over doesn't mean you can't live to play another day.
You know, fun story about it is for this particular track, I mean, it took me, I want to say I rewrote this entire song 3 times. Because certain individuals, when they get upset and they get mad about what's going on in their lives, what's going on in their relationships, they'll be like, man, you did me wrong, blah, 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 blah. But then I channel that energy and be like, Mark, this is supposed to be fun. These are particularly hard moments that we can use to write and be able to be in a better mental health. But don't forget, this is supposed to be fun. So what I did is I wrote it in a sense of you can relate to me in Mario Kart. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, when you played Mario Kart, nobody was really talking. Everybody was just kind of playing and trying to get where it needs to be. They're trying to get where they need to go to. And sometimes in relationships, it's not like Double Dash. Some people don't want to just hang on the back of the hood while you drive. Sometimes they want to drive too. And you got to look at it from that aspect. And that's where I took it to. And I also took it to as in, even if things don't work out the way they work out, don't think there isn't a day that that you won't be able to live another day. And that's something that you got to pay attention to. So the final track is a Major Upset. This is why I introduced the villain Major. But just for a gym thing to let you know about the things later, I'll put the concept together. It'll literally blow the entire Player One series together. I mean, all the way just by this one quote here. I got trapped in a game that's called Nerdcore. Nerdcore is a genre or music community that has some things with nerds and, and anime, video games, et cetera, right? So his name is Major, the creator of the game. So Major's last name is Label. Major Label, the creator of the game, the creator of the industry, the creator of the box that puts nerds in a category or genre so everybody can separate themselves. So this is why I meet them for the first time, and that's where that comes in.
So you're player one, Mark Cooper. And you are? I'm sorry. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Major, the creator of this game.
You mean like Major Payne?
No, not like Major Payne.
Wayne's brothers own everything.
Would you stop that?
All right, fine.
The chances of you making it out through all 4 levels is like Namek exploding in 5 minutes.
So that means you're Frieza then?
Oh, you're being a jerk.
Not like Frieza when I was giving you all the energy and all that kind of stuff, man.
Interrupting me.
Because you keep pausing like that Malcolm in the Middle kid. I don't know his name, though.
Oh, one more thing. Don't think you're the only one stuck in this game.
I'm ready for anything. Like SpongeBob flipping patties at the job.
Would you get out of here? Put the coin in already. Press start.
So, and that's how Player One ends. These other 2 tracks are just bonus tracks on there that I put in there for that. But the full album is done at Major Upset. And one thing that you can see a play on words is that you'll see whenever it's like Major speaking or anything like that, the title always has Major in it. Like Major Upset, Major Opposition, Major Win. You know what I mean? Like all of those is where it needs to be. No, that's not Jack. That's Mathis Wells. on that one. So it's just a way to bring all those elements together, just to make it fun. And then that's what the whole concept is: make it fun. So if you make it funny, it's still making it fun. By having the skits having their own particular personalities and not make it that traditional thing that you see like in RPGs and other video games. Well, let's make it like the AIs and all that stuff could be aggravated with you. So that's the way I look at it. But overall, that's really the album there. I just wanted to kind of go through it where it needs to. So next Tuesday, I'm going to go through the second part, which is the All Spark. Then that following Tuesday will be Test Drive. And then that following Tuesday will be Success and Failure. And then Gerald's Feel comes out. So Gerald's Feel comes out February 22nd on the Ultimate Tuesday. You might get some surprises there. There's trivia that's going to be out. There's already one question out right now that you can be able to check out trivia, especially when you know the story. You can apply with that. I put you in a raffle, and there's going to be some really cool prizes. So when Gerald's Field comes out on that day, we're going to do the raffle, play through the songs, have a great time. So, like I said, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me where it needs to be. I'm finally going to eat me some dinner or something because I haven't eaten really. And, yeah. So, no further ado, I really appreciate all you guys. And I'm about to head on out. So, you guys have a good one.